Yeah, I mean, how could we talk about scenes that make you cry and not talk about that scene? But for me, it was definitely like you think it's going to be Gina Davis's, husband, and then you realize it's not, and you think you're going to feel relieved, and instead you get this gut punch.
Now I'm gonna get emotional.
One of my favorite character arcs is Marla Hooch.
I felt that her dad was such a sweet man.
Just hearing him describe her backstory, and he's kind of like, it's not her fault. Like, this is her mom died, and this is our situation. This is how I raised her. And I found their relationship just so pure and touching. And when he saw her off on the train, it felt like a dad sending their kid like to kindergarten. Like it seemed like they had never really been apart, and neither one of them wanted to separate from each other, but kind of like knew it was like the thing that needed to happen. When Shirley can't read her name,
Oh,
Oh, just look on the list. It's either Rockford, Racine, Kenosha, or South Bend.
I
I know.
lost it. I mean, I think the thing that was so beautiful about that scene and why you're getting emotional is now I'm gonna get emotional. I feel like it's a perfect representation of women looking out for women. Helen, the fact that she like gets up, okay, you can't read, okay, no problem. And then the fact that the coach, instead of like, oh, laughing at this woman who can't read, he's like,
Go join your team. Okay, ladies. Now let's settle down, please. We got a lot to go over.
so sweet. And then showing the complete opposite.
yes,
Madonna teaching her how to read about milky breasts. And then she says, like, it gets really good.
it gets really good after this. I think balancing it with that levity of having her reading with May was so important because it didn't make you like, we didn't feel bad for her. After that point, we weren't like, oh, this like poor girl. Like, she was just one of them from that point forward.
The other part of that scene that like really kind of captures your heart is that it reminds you of what a lot of people in this time were going through. A lot of these women were coming from pretty impoverished backgrounds. Could be surprising that there's only one of them who doesn't know how
Yeah.
to read, right? Like if you think about the time and, just the setting of the movie, and it really takes you back like, oh wow, like it's something that we take for granted, that we're going to know how to read. She's incredibly vulnerable because she has not had the opportunity to have that, and how life changing making it now onto this team, getting paid that much money, it changed her life.
The scene where Doris is talking about her boyfriend, I think that scene was so important because it kind of spoke to what this all was about. Like, she was kind of recognizing like, like I felt this way before, but now she's kind of like realizing that she's part of something that's bigger.
None of the other boys ever, always made me feel like I was wrong, Like I was some sort of a weird girl or a strange girl, or not even a girl, just 'cause I could play. I believed them too, but not anymore, I mean, look it. There's a lot of us. I think we're all alright.
When we find out that Betty's husband passes away, that scene has always gotten me. And I think it's about trying to put yourself in those shoes of like your whole life is just sitting on like walking on eggshells waiting to get those news. And like they kind of bring it up and sprinkle it throughout the movie, and they create a lot of this like you're holding your breath. If you're watching that for the first time and you're like, oh, Gina Davis is gonna find out that her husband passed away. But I think the thing that gets me the most about that scene is actually Jimmy, because it's the first time that we get glimpses that he has a soft side and he's not this disgusting, horrible person that we know him to be. But like the fact that he like stands up for her in that moment and is like, get out, like you have no idea like what you're about to like bring into this room. And then like just like embracing her and like being like, I'm like here for you right now, having all this room of women who has to go and now play this game while they were like, waiting for it to be their own shock, probably sticks out to a lot of people, but it just gets me every time. But I think it mostly has to do with Tom Hanks's acting in that moment to really like show us this tender side of him.
Yeah, I mean, how could we talk about scenes that make you cry and not talk about that scene? But for me, it was definitely like, you think it's going to be Gina Davis's, husband, and then you realize it's not, and you think you're going to feel relieved, and instead you get this gut punch that somebody else's husband has died. And like, I don't know the actress's name, but the actress who plays Betty Spaghetti, the way she just starts wailing, and like, it gets me to like, every time I watch it, I'm just like, that she must have had something that she could draw from, because it, to me, is one of the most genuine like reactions of like learning that the love of your life has died, an outpouring of grief that I feel like I've seen on screen. The lead up, it's so typical, kind of like the drama of it, it's the slow walk and you don't know where he's going to go. But I almost don't even mind, because it's just like, it gets you into that tense, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Who's it going to be? Kind of, even though I know, obviously I've seen it so many times, you still get that feeling of like anxiety in the pit of your chest.
I think that whole scene at the end is very emotional, especially like the music in this movie really, really gets to you. But when Stillwell shares that his mom died,
Stillwell, Angel. My goodness. Where's your mom?
Mom died a couple of years ago.
I remember as a kid, like that just getting me every time. And I think it's the contrast of this character being so like having such a reverence for his mom, for being there, for all of these women.
When I heard about this, I just felt like I owed it to her to be here. She always said it was the best time she ever had in her whole life.
And it being so different as the kid that they knew and this character that we saw through most of the movies. The next time you're out with your friends or sitting at a table with someone who may love this movie as much as we all do, ask them our question for the table for this episode, which is, which scene makes you the most emotional and why?
You guys asked me why I love this so much, how it had to do with my family being a baseball family. Maybe that's the reason that we like started watching it, but the reason I kept coming back to it is because it's this beautiful story about sisterhood and friendship, having a community to lean on, and ultimately the women empowerment.